I thank Lou Grassi for hosting this morning's roundtable. And I'd like to thank our sponsors this morning for making today's event possible. People's Alliance Federal Credit Union couldn't be here this morning, but they are one of our sponsors as well.
Good morning. Thank you. My name is Brian Van Zant. I'm with NST. We're a computer and network service company.
Good morning. I'm Sue Kiesel from Capital One Bank. It is a pleasure to be here. We thank you, Lou, for hosting us this morning.
Good morning. I'm Robert Cothey, owner of Faxback Websites and Videos.
My name is Arthur Germain. I am the Principal and Chief Brand Teller of Communications Strategy Group. And
so we are honored, really honored, to hear today from Lou Grassi.
We have a philosophy at Grassi, either believe or leave. Because if you don't believe in the mission of the organization, you really shouldn't go through the process of being here. And a lot of companies spend a lot of money each year on consulting, but too often those companies take the reports, the CEO puts it in a drawer, and they don't live by it until about 3 years later they have another problem, they hire another consultant, and the process continues. Our 2003 retreat, we based it on the book Good to Great. In 2003, it was probably the most difficult time in the accounting profession, and the 5 years that succeeded it, to find staff. So in 2003, this genius here goes into our annual partners retreat, and we base it on the book Good to Great. And you know, we've heard all the cliches about Good to Great. You know, get the right people on the bus, get the wrong people off the bus, and make sure the people that are continue on the bus are in the right seat on the bus. And during the retreat, I thought I was going to be voted out of office because we decided to let go 25% of our staff, which is the equivalent of suicide, okay? It was corporate suicide that I was proposing. And the reason is because we realized that we hired them in a market that we really couldn't find anyone else. So you settle. If we're going to be the organization we want to be, we need to have the people who buy into what we're trying to accomplish.
So I learned that in an organization, if you're going to succeed, you have to deliver, everyone needs to deliver the product or the service in the same exact fashion. And I'm a very inquisitive person. I always ask a lot of questions because I want to learn. I want to continuously learn. And I always say that the day any CEO wants to stop learning and think that they have all the answers is the day that they should tender their resignation to the organization they're in. I started out every year at the firm saying, oh my God, I think this is going to be a tough year. So my partners called me Mr. Paranoid. So I'm at this cocktail party and someone basically talks to me about Andrew Grove. Andrew Grove is one of the co-founders of Intel Corporation. So I go out and read his book. The book is appropriately titled, Only the Paranoid Survive. So I then turn around and basically, put together this email to my partners and saying, hey, listen, if it worked for Intel, it could work for Grassi. He realized is that you always, always had to innovate. One of my guiding principles here at Grassi is know thy market. Know thy employees, know thy customers, and know thy market. Because when the market's moving, you have to be like Wayne Gretzky. Why was Wayne Gretzky great? Because Wayne Gretzky focused on where the puck was going. He didn't focus on where it was. I am a student of the market because I truly believe as a CEO, either you're a student of the market or you're a victim of the market. Companies don't die because they don't have great ideas, they don't have great strategies. It's when they don't execute. I've facilitated a number of retreats. I've been an outside observer to a number of retreats in organization. And retreats are great because employees leave the room on a high. But what happens? The playbook goes in the drawer. and everybody goes and does everything the same way until they come to the next retreat. They talk about the same issues and the same problems. It's not the way we do things here at Grassi. If we're gonna grow the firm, everyone in the room, it's like being at you know what? Our retreat is like being at a charity function, okay? Everyone makes a commitment, everyone makes a pledge. The pledge is that I own this, I am going to deliver it. And I will tell you, this sounds as mundane as anything, but everyone on a monthly basis gets a scorecard as to where they stand against their goals. And guess what? I have goals as well. So any meeting I leave, if there's something that came up in today's meeting, I will write that down and I will put it on my to-do list. And I live by my to-do list, I really do. Everyone is coached in this organization on how to achieve their goal. And I think everyone needs to always be ready for the next step in your business. You can't be static in life, and you can't assume that what you have today is where your organization is going to be. So I wrote down what I wanted to do, but more importantly, I wrote down all the things I didn't want to do, all of the mistakes that I had, that I've seen in other employers and people I've worked for, and in organizations I served as customers, who otherwise could have been an incredibly successful organization, but for our first employee that I ever had still works for this firm till today. We have, in a profession where the average turnover rate, the firm I mentioned before, KPMG, 35% turnover rate. Our turnover rate is 8% at Grassi. One year we went to 13. And don't think that I took that lightly. I don't take that lightly. I don't ever take anything lightly. Because remember, being paranoid, I'm paranoid about everything, okay? In the truest sense of the business, and in a pure sense of the word paranoid, I don't suffer from paranoia, but you have to look at every detail of your business. And as the CEO, you need to focus in on trends in your business. We have an organization of people. We empower our people. I want everyone in the organization to know where we're going. Too often, we've had some great organizations. We've been very fortunate to have great organization in this company. But they're small businesses, and they're run like the Lone Ranger. The employee is a Tonto, and the Lone Ranger says, Tonto, you do this, Tonto, you do that. You know what? That doesn't make a great organization. It really does not make a great organization. Everyone has a job to do, and yes, we monitor it. And yes, we tie compensation results into this office. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, your people need to know where you're going as an organization. And they need to know what their part is. And they need to know what you expect of them. And as anyone that in this room knows about Grassi, I'm always pushing the envelope. I always want to go to the next step, and I'm always pushing the envelope. And you don't want the organization to be lethargic. You don't want the people to be lethargic. I want to look for kids in this company. I want to sit across from someone, and I want to look them in the eye. Now, most of my people don't know this, but I look out my window every day. And I look at the people who leave their cars and go into the office. And when they leave their cars going into the office, and they look like they're half dead, I don't want them to go into the Grassi door. It's not what I want. That's not the people I want. I want the people who want to achieve goals. I want the people who want to bring forward. I want to look across the eye, and I want to see fire in someone's eyes. I want to know one thing. I want to know what they're passionate about. Because they're passionate about something, they're going to be passionate about Grassi. because we're going to empower them to be passionate. And that's very, very critical. And that's why at Grassi and Company, we want to hear people's ideas. Some of the best things we do today are not something I've authored, something I've listened to and learned from in people that are at every level of this company. I'm talking about every level of this company. It's not only a select group of professional staff that are at these meetings, these breakfasts. It's everyone in the organization. I want to know everyone, because everyone in the organization can see something that's obvious. How many organizations do you see that go like this and go like that? Okay? Why? Success killed them. We've seen so many companies, because when everyone in the organization is patting themselves on the back, you know, if you know a little bit about what's going on in my profession right now, it's merger mania. And we've had a merger ourselves. And so many organizations have become so introspective that they go to meetings and all they do is talk about themselves. And I always like to say that I love when my competition's like that, because I could take about 4 stories out of their building before they realize I'm there. And that's what we do. We look at the marketplace, know thy marketplace. And I'm serious about that. We look at the marketplace and figure out where there are weaknesses in that marketplace and where we should go. And if you're a student of the marketplace, you'll know which competitors to go after. People always ask me, who are your competitors, Lou? And I always say, I give one answer. And I really mean this sincerely. I said ourselves. Our competition is ourselves. Because if we don't fulfill our mission, it's no different than, because then we're losing opportunities, and it's no different than our competitors coming in and taking our business away from us. You have to know who you are as an organization. And what works for one organization doesn't work for everyone. And I live by that every day. I also live by something else. One thing I know is everything is changing. That's one thing I do know. Everything is changing. We've coined the phrase, it's a trademarked firm, is that we're accountants and success consultants. And again, it's not something that's a novel technique. It's something we live by. We want to be success consultants because we want to perpetuate the business. We want you to be our biggest fan and our biggest marketing. We want you to be part of our marketing department. We want to provide the experience. I always like to say to everyone in the management group, you have to realize during this year, sometimes you're going to be the teacher and sometimes you're going to be the student. And I will tell you, 50% of the time I'm the student and 50% of the time I'm the teacher. And I don't need to be the teacher at all times because there's a lot of things I need to learn. And I learn from everyone. And everyone needs to learn from everyone. Because if you're empowered to be the CEO of an organization, it doesn't mean that you've all of a sudden gained a full monopoly on every great thought around. But remember one thing. Your culture and your core values have no price tag. Because our reputation is worth a lot more than that in the marketplace. I look at things very differently. When you're a potential employee and you say yes to us, I feel honored to have you. You know, it's the way hotels should be. Like, they should be honored that people select their hotels. Because like hotels, there's a lot of choices in accounting firms. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.